Hi, it's Diane with SewBatik, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a jersey knit pillowcase. Many of you have probably made these before, but I wanted to take you through the process that I used for making this pillowcase out of the jersey knit. There's a couple of little steps that I have to add to it because it has a little bit of stretch to it, but you're going to absolutely love it. And the demo I'm doing today is on a standard pillowcase, and this measures 20 by 25. And you can download the paper instructions from our website, and it will have the measurements for the standard size, a queen, and for a king. So if you want to do any of those three sizes, you have the instructions to do it. But it's really a simple process. And the technique that's used is to encase the decorative fabrics inside so that you don't see any stitch lines. The only stitch line you're going to see is the one that closes the edge of the pillow and the bottom of the pillowcase, okay? But I used 3 different fabrics of our jersey knit. The main fabric itself, this measures 22 inches by 42 inches, okay? The accent fabric I cut is 1.5 inches by 42 inches. And I call it the end fabric, but the end decorative fabric measures 11 inches by 42. So those are the measurements that you start with, okay? So let's get started making the pillow. The first thing that I have to do with the jersey knit is this little accent fabric. It is going to curl on you because it is a jersey knit. And just remember, don't stretch too much. But if you're making this pillowcase with a cotton, you simply fold this piece in half, press it, and you're ready to lay it on the next piece of fabric. What I like to do first, before we get into laying anything out, is I take this over to my serger, and we're going to run a rolled edge hem along the open edge to seal it. So we end up with one piece of fabric that almost looks like a ribbon, and it has the right sides on the outside, and then we'll be ready to start putting our fabric together. So we have the edge, the accent fabric that has the rolled edge stitched on it. The trick to making this super easy and making sure that you don't have any stitch lines showing on the inside of the edge of your pillowcase, is this. Now follow what I'm doing here, but basically what you have to do is you have to lay your end fabric on your table right side up. Okay, so the wrong side is against the table, so it's right side up. Then take your main fabric and right side up again. I'm going to move this down so you can kind of see what I'm doing. But right side up, get this out of the way. Starting from left to right, layer the main fabric on top of your accent fabric. And just position it there for now so that the edges are level. Okay. You'll have to fuss with it just a little bit because of the jersey knit aspect of the fabric that you're working with. When these are set, grab your accent fabric, and again, from left to right, lay this and position this right along the top edge so that your rolled edge is right along the cut edge of your fabric. So just position that along the edge, keeping it as straight as possible. Your ends might not all be the same. I ended up making my accent fabric just a little bit longer, and we can always trim that off before we start sewing. Okay, so now we have all of that in position. The next thing that I do is I take the other end, long end, of the main fabric and start folding it. Folding it inside, because what we're really doing is we're creating a tube where the main fabric of the pillowcase is inside. So now you see the end fabric here again. And remember, this is right side up. So we just simply position the long end on top of the other layers. Again, starting from left to right, position that cut edge, again, along the other cut edge, just like that. So what you have, again, is a tube, kind of, where the majority of your pillowcase is inside here. Take your clips. Now, if you're working with cotton, you'll use pins because it's easier, but this has a lot of bulk to it because it is 4 layers of the jersey knit. So start at the edge and put clips. And put them as close or as far apart as you feel comfortable to keep your fabric lined up and flat. Make sure you catch all of the layers in there. Okay. There, so everything now is clipped, and I'm actually going to just cut off the end of this accent fabric so that it's out of the way. And we'll get rid of that. So now you have this tube that has all of the fabric inside, and we are simply going to go to your conventional sewing machine if that's what you're using, or a serger. This is so serger friendly. You don't even have to use a sewing machine if you have a serger. You can make the whole pillowcase in one full swoop. It's great. I see that I have overlapped that, so I'm going to fix that. There we go. Okay, so starting here, ending here, serge a straight line. I use a 4-thread overlock stitch when I'm sewing with my serger, when I really want to make a secure seam. And because there are so many layers, go slow. There's no reason to go fast. Just get a very, very nice clean stitch. I do engage my knife just in case, just to make a nice clean edge. And I'll be right back. So now we have a nice serged edge. I actually used black along here so that you could see all the way along the edge. And now it's time to turn this tube inside out. So just, gently pull out the fabric. Try not to really stretch it too much. It'll come out pretty easily. And turn the fabric as you go. Okay. Okay. So now what you have is the flange is there, separating the end fabric from your main fabric. So now you have the end of your pillowcase, and all of the stitching is inside. Nifty. The next step is do a little pressing. We want to make sure that the end fabric is flat, that the seam is actually pressed towards the end fabric. So it'll just take a little time for you to get that pressed and flat. I'm just going to hand press it for now so you can see what I'm doing. And our next step is to fold it in half. Now you're basically forming your pillowcase. You fold it in half, and using clips or pins, whichever way you would like, match up your end and try to match up your seam here. We want to make sure that that seam lines up. Now that will be bulky. So when you hit your serger to do that, or your traditional sewing machine, go very, very slow. You are going through 8 layers of fabric. So just go slow so that one layer doesn't move over the other. Okay. So we'll clip. I'm going to move this down here. We'll clip here. Clip here. And just a quick note too, that you'll see that the jersey starts to curl because you're working with it. So put it all back into alignment. If you need to trim anything to square it up because it has moved, now's the time to do that. And then we're going to clip all the way around. I'm just going to clip to this edge so you can see what I'm doing. And starting from this edge, your open end, stitch all the way to the end, turn, or with your serger, take it off and start again, and sew the end closed. Okay? We'll be right back. Okay, did you finish doing the serging and sewing all along the edge and the end? I did clip some of my threads. I'm going to wait to clip this thread because I want to tuck it down into the thread itself so that I don't have any ends sticking up at the end here. I just really want to secure my threads at the top because that's where you see the most usage. Okay, so for now, I'm going to leave those there, but we're going to turn this inside out. Right side out, I should say. And fix our corners. And normally I would actually, you're going to laugh at me. Normally I would press everything flat and all that and make sure that it was nice and flat and perfect. But I'm not. I'm putting a pillow in it. So there we are. We have another finished pillowcase. So I should have grabbed my other pillow, but now we have 2 pillowcases for the guest room, which has all of our fun jersey knit pillow shams, bed scarf, and now matching pillowcases. So I hope you found this really, really fun, and like our video and shop our website for jersey knit to make your own pillowcases and your own comfortable loungewear, and download the PDF with the instructions on how to make this and make your own pillowcases. They're also great for instructing newbie sewers on how to make something fun that they can use every day. So thanks for joining, and we'll see you again.